Okay, so once you've decided you are going to counseling, how do you find a counselor? If you do a broad Google search just in Lubbock alone, you're going to have hundreds of results if you just put in counselor. So you need to be able to narrow that down a little bit based off of what you're looking for and what your needs are. So a general way to do that is, first and foremost, realize why you are going to counseling. So let's just say I'm going to use my expertise as an example. So I am trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, and my specialties are depression and anxiety. So let's say somebody has depression and that is what they're looking for. So you as a person want to know that that's where you're looking for help, okay? So you can narrow it down automatically right there. So go back in and you're gonna say counselor who treats depression. That's going to narrow down that search already. The reason you want to do that is because as counselors, we all have different specialties and we all have different training. What we specialize in is totally up to us. So my specialty is depression and anxiety. There are some therapists who focus on play therapy with children. There are some who do different styles of therapy. There's a lot of them that are meant to work with different areas. So if you have a specific concern going on, use that to help you narrow down your search already. The next step that I would say to do is to decide if you're going to use insurance or not. If you want to use your insurance plan, watch the video that tells you how to contact your insurance to see what the cost is going to be and to get a list of providers. Usually you can do a quick search in your insurance website and find a list of providers. You're going to get a lot there too, usually. So that's going to kind of help you narrow it down though, because maybe you got, 105 counselors that work with depression. And once you go to your insurance panel, maybe there's only 60. So you've narrowed it down at least based off of your two criteria. So you want a counselor who works with depression and you want to use a specific kind of insurance. So that's going to help you narrow that down. Now, once you've done that, you can do a couple things. Feel free to ask your PCP, to ask friends, to, ask around if anybody has experience. A good website to check out local counselors is called Psychology Today. It is a paid advertisement, so not all therapists are on there. It's really optional. But I think it is a good starting point. And it will show you a picture of the therapist and a bio that they have written, and then what kind of insurances they accept and what their fees are, and usually what their specialties are. So that can help you kind of narrow it down in that area too. Also doing a Google search for something like that. Once you have at least how you're going to pay, what you're looking for, those are going to be the next part is really trying to find a counselor that you feel like you're going to be comfortable with. So I like pictures on bios, and I like bios because usually it tells you a little bit about that counselor and how much experience they have, what their training is, and you get a picture. In all honesty, age matters. It really does. That's what we find a lot. We have some counselors who are a little bit older, and we find that some older clients feel more comfortable with them. We have some counselors that are younger. We find that a lot of teens feel more comfortable with them. But it varies. It really does. So age does matter. Gender usually matters. Sometimes, males want males or females want females or whatever the case may be. So you can also narrow it down by that. And then also just, like I said, read those bios, get their background information. I would narrow it down to maybe 3 to 5 counselor options and then start calling, because your next issue is going to be, do they have any openings right now, and what is their availability? So let's say if you're wanting a counselor who only works evening or weekend, that might take 3 of those counselors off your list automatically, because maybe only 2 of them work on the evenings and weekends. So it is a little bit of work to figure out a counselor. It really, really is, but it's worth it. I mean, it's work you have to do. Nobody's going to do that for you. But it's worth it, because in the end, you're going to get connected with the counselor that meets most of your needs. Odds are there's not a perfect counselor out there that is going to meet everything. There might be, but you want to at least have most of your needs met by narrowing down your options and what you need and what you're looking for. Another option is usually if you start calling counselors and have requests, they'll say, oh, we can accommodate you, but here, let me give you some other referrals. And then they'll refer you to other counselors too. So that can be helpful. But in the end, it takes a little bit of work. It's not usually as simple as just picking a PCP or something like that, because your connection with that counselor is very, very important, and the issue that you're working on. So you want to have that in your mind and talk to the counselor directly, and you guys will get that figured out.